السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم تسليمًا كثيرا. ثم أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في الإسلام أما بعد، وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. سبحان الله. طيب, inshallah ta'ala, we mentioned last week, if you remember, we started speaking about the plural marriage or polygamy. Polygamy, right? This is the word. So we mentioned the ruling in plural marriage in Islam. Also we mentioned that Islam is not the first religion that legislate polygamy. We mentioned some text from the Old Testament, maybe 3 or 4 texts, and also we mentioned some conditions that the one who wants to marry more than one wife, he has to apply, which is justice, the first condition and the most important. And the second, it is al-qudra ala al-infaq, the ability to spend on one's wives. واليوم بحول الله عز وجل نتكلم عن الحكمة من التعدد أو من إباحة التعدد. Tonight, inshallah ta'ala, we will speak about the wisdom behind permitting plural marriage or polygamy. What's the wisdom? First of all, we should understand without a doubt, أولا وقبل كل شيء، يجب أن نعلم يقينا أن الله عز وجل ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يأمران إلا بما كانت مصلحته خالصة أو راجحة. First of all, that we should understand and we should know that Allah the Almighty and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alih, they never ordered or legislate anything except that there is a pure virtue on it or a predominant virtue in that order or legislation. Is that clear? This is very important to understand. Not just in this matter that I'm talking about. In general, any order of Allah the Almighty, any order of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, always you will find in it a pure maslaha, a pure virtue, or a predominant virtue. This is number one that we should put in our mind. ولا ينهى الله عز وجل ولا رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا عن مفسدة خالصة أو مفسدة راجحة. Also we should understand that Allah the Almighty never forbade something, or the Prophet ﷺ never forbade something unless that there is a pure harm on it or a predominant harm in that thing. This should be clear. When I said pure harm, it's well known, like a shirk. There is no maslaha, association with Allah. There is no maslaha. There is no virtue in that. ليس هناك مصلحة في الشرك. لكن لو قال قائل فماذا تقول عن الخمر؟ فيها مصلحة أم ليست فيها مصلحة؟ فيها بعض المصلحة، هذا ذكره الله عز وجل. لكن تنبه للقاعدة أن الله لا ينهى عن أمر إلا فيه مفسدة خالصة أو مفسدة راجحة. So there is no benefit, no virtue, there is a pure harm in association, in a shirk, without a doubt. But what about alcohol, wine? Is there any virtue in it? Well, there is a virtue in it. Allah the Almighty mentioned that in the Quran. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما. Allah the Almighty said in Surah Al-Baqarah, they ask you about al-khamr, wine, and al-maisir, gambling. So say to them, O Muhammad, there is some قل فيهما إثم كبير, in them there is a big portion of harm on them, but still there is a few virtue, but the harm is bigger than the virtue without a doubt. So if you ask about the ruling now, as I said, Allah Azza wa Jal and His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if they forbid something, it is either pure harm or predominant harm in that thing. Look at the khamr now. Allah said that the harm is bigger. So when the harm is bigger than the virtue, so what's the ruling? It is haram. Is that clear? Now maybe somebody will say, what's the virtue in the khamr? For the merchant, maybe they sell it and gain some money, right? And maybe those who drink wine, they will feel themselves, the body, little warm in cold weathers and stuff like that. But indeed, the harm is major, is bigger than the benefit. What kind of harm we have in khamr? ضياع العقل. Your mind will be, you will lose your mind. People will laugh upon you. How many cases where people got drunk and they even made zina, adultery against their mothers, sisters and daughters? So we understand the ruling now, right? الآن فهمنا هذا التقعيد وهذا التأصيل. إذا غلبت المفسدة على المصلحة حرمها الشرع. فالخمر فيه بعض الفوائد، البيع والشراء، قد يشعر الإنسان بالدفء من شرب الخمر، لكن مفسدته أعظم. ضياع العقل مفسدة عظيمة. ضحك الناس على هذا الرجل، أنت لا ترى كيف حال الذي يصل إلى حد السكر أو الثمالة. وكذلك قد يقع على أمه وعلى أخته وعلى بنته نتيجة هذا الخمر أو هذا التعاطي بهذا المنكر. إذن وضحت القاعدة. Now it's clear the first wisdom, which is a wisdom that we will apply always. Not in this matter, because maybe the brothers will feel more happy now listening that the wisdom to get married more, alhamdulillah, wow, nice. Okay, alhamdulillah. But I'm not talking just about this issue. It's a ruling in general. It's a general ruling. The orders from Allah, when it comes, the orders of the Messenger ﷺ, when it comes, it is either pure virtue or predominant virtue. And if there is something forbidden, prohibited in the deen, in the religion, because either it's a pure harm or a predominant harm. This is number one that we should put in our mind. The second thing, أن التعدد سبب لتكثير الأمة. ومعلوم أن هذه الأمة لا تحصل لها الكثرة إلا بالزواج. فقد سد الإسلام كل الطرق المفضية إلى الحرام. So the second wisdom behind the plural marriage or polygamy is that plural marriage or polygamy helps to increase the ummah, the Muslim nations. The number of the ummah will increase a lot, and there is no way to increase the number of the Muslim except through the legal marriage. Fornication is haram. Adultery is haram. There is no way. Even though some Muslims they commit it nowadays, that does not mean it is halal or it is okay. ولكنك لن تجد كتابا سماويا حظر التعدد في حالة مجرد الخوف. مجرد الخوف من عدم العدل ماذا تصبح؟ يصبح الزواج بأكثر من واحدة ممنوع ومحرم. لذلك الله عز وجل ماذا قال؟ فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة. If you look at the Quran, it is the only book that prohibits plural marriage or polygamy if the man cannot provide justice between the wife. If he just a little afraid, he is afraid that he will not make justice, so it's not allowed for him to marry another wife. Allah the Almighty said in the Quran in Surah An-Nisa, chapter 1, ayah number 3, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدًا. But if you fear that shall not be able to deal justly with them, then only one. والحكمة الثالثة ذكرنا طرفا منها الأسبوع الماضي. لو أردت أن تلجأ إلى العلم وإلى الإحصائيات، لأنه بعض الناس تقول له قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن شاء الله ليس فينا ولا بيننا من حاله كهذا. تذكر له حديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيقول لك يا شيخ يعني خلينا نشوف العلم إيش بيقول. لو نظرت إلى الإحصائيات ابتداء لوجدت أن عدد النساء أكثر من عدد الرجال في كل مصر وقطر. The third wisdom, statistics of nowadays. We will have our proof from the Sunnah. Alhamdulillah, all of us are inshallah believers. And when we hear the Prophet ﷺ saying something, we will stick to it. But even some people among the Muslim nowadays, when you mention the Sunnah, they will not take it. And maybe they will judge, the Sunnah, This is not the case of a believer. But the statistics of nowadays show that the number of women is greater than the number of men. And this is in every and each country. If you look at the United States here, in the 80s, statistics said if every man on this land gets married, still 9 million women will be without husband. This is in the 80s. In some country there are 3 women for a man. In some country 5 for a man. In some countries 7 for a man. So what if all of these men get married with one wife only? What will happen to the rest of the women of the Ummah or the world in general? You will see that this is, subhanallah, will open gates of evil, as I will mention later on. لكن حديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عند الإمام البخاري رحمه الله من حديث أنس رضي الله تعالى عنه لخص لنا هذا الأمر. لا ننظر لا إحصائية ولا نتعب الرأس في هذا، فنحن نسمع ونطيع نسلم لما ثبت عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. قال أنس: لأحدثنكم حديثا لا يحدثكموه أحد بعدي سمعته من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول: لا تقوم الساعة. وفي لفظ عند البخاري وقال: من أشراط الساعة أن يرفع العلم ويظهر الجهل ويشرب الخمر ويظهر الزنا ويقل الرجال وتكثر النساء حتى يكون لل50 امرأة القيم الواحد، يعني الرجل الواحد لل50 امرأة. Listen carefully to this hadith narrated by Imam Bukhari from Anas. May Allah Azza wa Jalla be pleased with him. Anas said to his companion, I will narrate to you a narration which nobody will narrate to you after me. I heard that from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, the hour means the final hour. The hour will not be established. In another narration, from among the signs of the hour is that the religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious scholars. Ignorance will spread a lot. And general ignorance of religion will appear. And the drinking of alcoholic drinks will be very common. And open illegal sexual intercourse will prevail. And we are seeing all of these signs, right? And men will decrease in number, while women will increase, so much so that for 50 women there will be only one man to look after them. 50 women, only will be one man to look after them. أما الضرر الذي سيلحق بالمرأة إن لم تجد زوجا يقوم على مصلحتها ويوفر لها السكن والمعاش ويحصنها من الشهوات المحرمة وترزق منه بأولاد تقر بهم عينها مما قد يؤدي إلى الانحراف والضياع إلا من رحم ربك. The harmful effects that she, the woman, would never find a husband to take care of her interest, to give her a place to live, to spend on her, to protect her from haram desires, and to give her children to bring her joy. This may lead to deviance going astray, except for those on whom Allah has mercy. ومعلوم الضرر على المجتمع ضرر كبير أيضا، لأن هذه المرأة التي ستجلس بلا زوج قد تنحرف عن الجادة وتسلك طرق الغواية والرذيلة، فتقع في مستنقع الزنا والدعارة، نسأل الله السلامة إلا من رحم الله، مما يؤدي إلى نشر الفاحشة وظهور الأمراض وغيرها من الأمور. With regard to the harmful effects on society, it is well known that this woman who is left without a husband may deviate from the straight path and follow the ways of, shaitan and way of deviation. So, may Allah save all of us, save our sisters, our daughters, our Muslim sisters in general from this. Sometimes some women, they will look for the illegal way to satisfy the desires, which is, that it is haram, that will then in the society will appear a lot of disease, a lot of children without knowing even who is their father. ومن الحكم أيضا أن الرجال عرضة للحوادث أكثر من النساء، فلو نظرت إلى المهن الشاقة، إلى الحروب والمعارك، فجنود المعارك هم الرجال دون النساء. قد تجد مشاركة للنساء لكنها محدودة، لكن هم أكثر الجنود، والقتل يقع فيهم وليس في النساء، مما يزيد المشكلة ويدفع إلى إحياء هذه السنة ألا وهي التعدد. The fourth wisdom, all of us know that men are exposed to incidents that may end their lives more than women, for they work in dangerous professions. They are the soldiers in the battlefield. Yes, may some say also women fight. Yes, but the percentage, if you take it, it's minimum in comparison with the number of men. So this will increase the problem more and more. This is Allah the Almighty, the expert, Al-Khabir, the All-Knower. When He legislates something to fix the affair of the Ummah up to the day of judgment. ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير. Also من الحكم أن الزوجة قد تكون مريضة عقيمة وليس هذا ذنب تتحمله الزوجة لا في عقمها ولا في مرضها، لكن قد تكون عقيمة لا تنجب أولادا والرجل يحتاج إلى الولد، فلذلك سن له الإسلام بدل الطلاق أن يبقى محافظا عليها راعيا لها منفقا عليها ثم بعد ذلك يتزوج بزوجة ثانية. Also from the wisdom that a wife may be barren, cannot have children. This is not her fault without a doubt. Or maybe she has become sick. This is not her fault. If the man needs the kids, the offspring, and this is one of his right, so instead of divorcing that woman that cannot provide him with the kids, he can keep her, provide her, treated her kindly, spending on her, and he can marry another woman to satisfy or to achieve what he needs. أيضا من الحكم كثير من النساء حتى من أقارب الرجل كثير من النساء لا معيل لهن وهي غير متزوجة أو أرملة أو مطلقة ولا يجد من يعيلها ولا يقوم على مصلحتها، فجاء الإسلام ليسن لنا التعدد حتى يقوم الرجل على مصلحتها وله فيها مصلحة. أنا لا أقول هي فقط مصلحة المرأة، لكن أيضا للرجل فيها مصلحة، فبدل أن تترك وحيدة فهو يضمها ويعتني بها وينفق عليها. Also a woman may be one of even the man's relative and have no one to look after her, and she is unmarried or widowed or divorced, but there is nobody there to take care of her. So this is why Islam legislates that it is okay for a man to marry again, to take care of these sisters in the community. I will not say this is only the benefit of the sisters, as if the man is doing a favor for them. Yes, there is a maslaha, a virtue for the man. Nobody can deny that. But the thing is that instead of leaving those women without a man that can take care of them, provide them, spend, they can satisfy their desires in a halal way. So this is why Islam legislated such a thing. Also from the wisdom, أن المصلحة العامة مقدمة على المصلحة الخاصة. We should understand that there is legislation does not come to fit your desires alone. This is not the way how Allah the Almighty legislate. It does not fit your desire only. And Allah is coming, a legislation is given to serve the interest of the Ummah in general, of the Muslim in general. This is why the ulama al-usul, the scholars of fiqh, they said that general virtue, the general virtue take precedence over the individual virtue. Over the individual virtue. Without a doubt, the sister some sister will not like it that the husband marry again. Maybe there are some harm there or something that they do not like. But the maslaha in general of the ummah required that the ummah should take care of each other. And the general maslaha should precede over the personal one. The fuqaha, they said, to give us example to understand this maslaha or general virtue. لو أن مسجدا بني ولا طريق إلى هذا المسجد إلا من خلال أرض رجل يملك بيتا وأرضا، لا يوجد ممر آخر إلا من خلال هذه الأرض، فماذا نفعل؟ قال يقتطع من أرضه ممرا ويثمن هذا الجزء المقتطع ويدفع للرجل لأن المصلحة العامة تقدم على المصلحة الخاصة. The ulama, they give us the example that what if a masjid is built already and there is no way to enter the masjid except through the front yard of a person. You have to cross from his doors, the outside doors, to reach the masjid. There is no other way. So what can we do? Ulama said that we should cut a piece, like a hole, like a path, from his land, paying money for him instead of that path. But because the general maslaha, virtue, take precedence over the individual maslaha, we have to take that path, pay money for him, and allow people to come and pray in the masjid. Likewise with the plural marriage or marrying more than one woman. طيب قد يعترض البعض أو قد تعترض بعض النساء لكن لا أحسبهن من المؤمنات لأن الاعتراض على أمر الله بداية لا ينبغي لعبد يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. An objection, and I don't think that a believing woman will make this objection about this law. Some women will ask, why لماذا يعدد الرجل ولا تعدد المرأة? Why a man can marry more than one time and the woman cannot marry more than one time? This is a question that can be raised. والجواب على هذا السؤال يسير بحول الله. الإجابة العامة أن عدد النساء مضاعف على عدد الرجال، فنحن مش خالصين بواحد، فكيف لو تزوجت أكثر من واحد؟ The first and general answer, we have a problem. Even if the woman marry with one man, still we have a problem. A lot of women, they will be without husbands. So imagine if a woman catch 2 or 3 husbands. This will increase the problem more and more. This is a general answer. لكن لو أردنا جوابا فيه تفصيلا فنقول المرأة على الحقيقة لا يفيدها تعدد الأزواج بل يحط من قدرها وكرامتها ويضيع عليها نسب ولدها لأنها كمستودع تكوين النسل وتكوينه لا يجوز أن يكون من مياه عدد من الرجال، لا ينبغي هذا، وإلا ضاع النسب وضاعت مسؤولية التربية وتفككت الأسرة. Some response to this objection with details, I can say that there is no point in giving a woman the right to marry multiply husbands, rather that is beneath her dignity and she would not know even the lineage of her children because she is the one who bears the offspring. And it is not permissible for the offspring to be formed from the sperm of number of men, lest the lineage of the child be lost and no one will know who is responsible for bringing up the child. And we know that the sister, the way how Allah created them, they have their own issues. After delivering a baby, giving a birth, well, they come